I decided I was going to make a shield, and I ended up with this shield. Let's have a look how it was made. Some of the videos didn't come out very well, so I'm going to have to sort of batter little ones in and out, but this will show how I made my shield. So this all started with a big piece of 1/2-inch plywood, which has now been cut up because this is one of the videos that I managed to lose. But basically it was a piece of plywood about 3 feet by 3 feet that I got from work that was going to be chucked in a skip, and I thought it was a waste. And the bit that's painted black was actually gone on to be part of my model railway as well, so 2 for the price of 1. Right, I've chain drilled all the way around. It's an extremely boring job. What I think I'm going to have to do now is start sawing in so I can break it off in chunks. Let's see how that goes. So after I chain drilled the basic shape of a sort of large round shield out, I had to then cut off the excess wood. Now it's 1/2-inch plywood. I thought it would just break off. It didn't. I had to chisel it, and that was an effort. I really should have bought or hired a jigsaw, but it's a bit late now. What I was trying to do, I've chiselled all the way around, top and bottom, and it's still pretty solid. So I just cut lines in here, and I can bend it off. It's a warm day today. Blimey. And there I have a fairly round piece of wood. I have marked the centre because if all goes well this evening, we'll put some paint on there and get some colour on it. I haven't got a shield boss yet, that still hasn't arrived. I've got a handle though, and I've just taken the rough edges off here. I notice it's not completely circular or completely flat. That's not really going to matter because the shield edge is going to have a wrapping around it, very much like the originals are thought to do. And I'm not worried too much about that screw hole because it's going to get a bit dented anyway. So put the shield boss on when that arrives, cut the hole, shield boss in, rivet, 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 turn it over, handle, screw, screw. And I'm going to try and screw it in from this face, or whichever I decide is actually going to be the face. That's, I think, quite a nice piece of wood, so it might actually be nice to have that unpainted. And I know they would have been made out of planks, sort of held together with a wrap of leather or iron, but I'm not going to that effort. It's going to be a display piece. Right, so I'm going to start on the pattern, and I'm just using, this is just cheap £2 stuff from the works. I'm going to get more than enough in a tube. Fill it in a minute. Right, that's blocked in the other colour, which I think looks quite good. This is just taper. I'm trying to keep the edges reasonably good. It's not a part of a like geodesic, is that the right word? Geometric design of any sort. I don't know whether the shield boss will cover that up. So, nearly there. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry, and it's acrylic, so it doesn't take very long, I'm going to start carving a handle out of this piece of wood I found in the garden of a house that's been renovated as a sort of building site. And I'm going to use my Condor Jungle Bowie 2. I haven't really used this very much. I didn't really get on with it initially. I have cut some wood with it, and it's actually worked really quite well. And I think the thing with Condor knives is they are a brand where you need to actually use them to appreciate them. So I'm going to start whittling this, and it's going to look fairly rough, but that's what I want it to look anyway. I'm trying not to get wood shavings on the wet paint. So I might do it somewhere else, but anyway, just going to carry on carving this. I'm going to get something that looks reasonably like a handle. Morning. I need to put another couple of coats on there. Yeah, but before we do, the shield boss has arrived. Now it is really quite well oiled, but there are some rust spots on it. This came from Get Dressed for Battle, and it's not too bad an item. Black inside. It's quite arty, isn't it? And nice and shiny on the outside. And I'm really quite tempted to try fitting it, but unfortunately it comes with some rivets and they are too short. So I may just drill the holes so I can pretend it's fitted. But I think that overall is going to look pretty good when it's all done and together. So to disguise the screw heads, I'm going to use this super steel. It's a kind of two-part epoxy steel, really. Blob in there. Blob in there. That sets, mixes like that. And then I'm just going to put a blob onto each screw head. Yeah, I'll come back and finish that in a minute. As you may be able to hear, it's now chucking it down outside. I'm going to get this finished though, so I've repaired to the kitchen. What we need to do on this edge is put rawhide around it. The easiest, quickest, cheapest source of rawhide is old dog chews, or new dog chews. These don't feel quite as disgusting as you'd imagine. They've been soaked overnight, and you get a fair amount of rawhide. So that will go on there. So the rawhide goes around the edge and needs nailing into place. I'm going to cut this down a little bit, I think. I think perhaps half the width would be enough. Let's start nailing. And as you can see along here, the rawhide has dried and has shrunk quite nicely. I was a bit worried it was going to be a bit flappy. I might have to put some glue over it, but that seems to work quite well. So the battle damage that I did with my sword and my axe was like that, with a dent and some various cuts, slash marks up on the rawhide. That was quite a laugh actually. So this is my shield, completely finished, dried, and looking a bit battle scarred. Ready for action.